celebrating 50 years of NC State women's basketball. Two Wolfpack players have been the ACC Player of the Year, and they both came in the 90s. Andrea Stinson won in 1990 and Summer Erb in 1999.
It's definitely an honor. Stint is a friend of mine. We played together in Charlotte, and to be the only other player besides her is amazing.
Coach Al kept everything simple. You know, she allowed me to play my game within her system. I immediately tried to get rid of the bad habits. You know, Coach Al was like, you know, we got to change this, we got to change that. And that was fine for me because I know in order to grow and to get better, you have to change. And that's something that I preach now as a coach.
In '91, Stinson's final year, the Wolfpack played in one of the most memorable games in the history of women's basketball. A 123-120 loss to Dawn Staley and the Virginia Cavaliers in triple overtime.
It was a game to remember. You know, both teams coming in, I think we were ranked 1 and 2, 2 and 3 or something like that. And to come in and just compete and take women's basketball to another level was what we were trying to do and what we were able to do.
In March of '91, the Wolfpack put together wins over Wake Forest, Maryland, and Clemson to capture the program's 4th ACC tournament title. Basketball in the '90s produced a first for Coach Kay Yow and her program when the Pack reached the Final Four in 1998.
Wanting to get this done for Coach Yow. She has done so much for the sport, but she doesn't have this. She doesn't have this. We were all on the same page about getting this done for her once we got to that level and realizing that, hey, guys, we got a chance at doing this. Let's go out and do it.
2 wins at home set up a Sweet 16 matchup with the region's top seed, Old Dominion. With All-American Chastity Melvin in foul trouble, Summer Erb stepped up with 17 points and 9 rebounds. The final, NC State 55, Old Dominion 54.
Everybody steps up and fills whatever void was occurring at that moment. Chast sitting out, that was my opportunity to come in and do whatever I could to help the team. I knew I wanted the ball in my hands those last few seconds so I could get those free throws knocked down.
With that elusive bid to the Final Four on the line, NC State lined up against second-seeded Connecticut, led by Hall of Fame coach Gino Auriemma.
You know, UConn was the standard, and they have this like swag about them even back then.
I cut out an article where Gino and them were like, we're just ready to beat NC State and celebrate Gino's birthday. And that pissed me off, you know? Like, everyone thinks I'm like, I am happy-go-lucky, I'm always ready to have a good time, but when I step on the court, I mean, I have an alter ego, so I put that up in the locker room, and I was like, they're not celebrating today.
Melvin doubled down on her prediction with a double-double of 18 points and 11 rebounds. It was time to celebrate after the 60-52 win over the Huskies. Sheer joy and hugs abound as Kay Yow and the Wolfpack take those final steps to reach the Final Four.
Oh, when we were celebrating, Coach Al was stunned, and she wasn't walking over to shake his hand. That's when it set in, like, and then I went, Coach Al, you gotta go shake his hand. And she was just like, oh yeah, that's right. Like, I've never seen Coach Al discombobulated. You know, she was the first to go make sure we shake the other team's hands and stuff, but she was just stunned. And so for me, after that, it just hit me like, wow, we're going to the Final Four. God's an awesome wonder.
Just everything coming to fruition and actually being able to embrace that moment and embrace our friends and our family, because that's what a team is. That's what they have to be able to get things done.
And no one expected us to win, so. Obviously, we won that game, we upset them. The NCAA didn't think so we didn't even have our hats or t-shirts because they just knew Connecticut was gonna win. I watched basketball all my life, like, grew up, you know, watching the ACC and seeing people put their hats on and their t-shirts, and not to have the hats, I was pretty bummed about that, still am.
In her final game with the Wolfpack, Chastity Melvin had a performance for the record books. 37 points in a loss to Louisiana Tech, the most points ever scored in an NCAA semifinal.
That makes me feel real good and it's rewarding because, you know, as an athlete, I'm like, Yeah, I scored 37, but we got blown. We lost, you know. But when I look at it now and I follow college basketball, I see like, dang, it's so hard to make a Final Four.
The Final Four trophy has a resting spot in Reynolds Coliseum. A banner hangs in the rafters to remember and commemorate the moment, an accomplishment that few get to experience.